Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I'm glad to have you on. And thank you for being on. And let's get caught, man. So I'll start off with this. Um, what you been up to the last couple of years since you left go, wrestling wise?
Oh, as far as wrestling, man, yeah, I've been all over, man. And when I first got on, I was a little bit new to the business or whatever. But recently, I just came back from Canada last weekend. Canadians Wrestling Elite, which is a company out there. It's a pretty big company. I was working with a guy, Danny Warren, which I'm pretty sure you guys know. But, as far as that, man, it was a good experience going out to Canada. It was one of the things I always do. I dreamed of as a kid, going out to Canada, just seeing how it is, seeing how the world is, seeing. And I'm definitely going to be back soon, definitely this year. But I'll probably say that was probably one of the highlights of 2017, man. Kole, man.
That's pretty cool. And considering you get a chance to expand yourself, get yourself to the audience, especially outside of America. So
Right.
now that you had a chance to go to Canada, what's the next country you want to get a chance to travel and wrestle at? What's the next country that you want to set your eyes on?
Oh man, I'm still hype off of Canada, but for real, I want to go to Japan, man. I want to go to China, man. I want to go to the UK. I want to go as many places as possible, man. One of the reasons why I want to become a pro wrestler is so that I can see the world. So if anybody is pro wrestling and in a box, they're definitely wasting their time because it's all about getting out there, meeting as many people as you can, expanding. If you want to make this a career and you want to be taken seriously, man, you got to put on the miles. You know what I'm saying? You got to do the fights. You got to do the drives, which you got to do the game out. So I'm definitely next. I'm actually working on that now, man. But as of right now, I'll be consistently in Canada, brother.
So when you get a chance to go to Canada and go through the matches and everything, like how would you best describe the Canada crowd compared to the U.S. crowd? Anything that stands out as far as crowd reaction, things like that?
I'll probably say there. They got more passion because let's just say in Canada, they can run a show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. They can do that there. As of here, you're going to get a Friday, a Saturday, or Monday. There's no one in the States that is even capable of running that many shows in a month or even a week besides WWE. But other than that, the fans seem to be real passionate about it. And, they believe as much as they believe. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of wrestlers like to go to other countries because they don't just do it for them. I mean, they do it for the fans themselves, but just it's a different feeling, man. But, that's just one of the many highlights, man, of what I've been doing so far. Because I remember when I talked to you a couple years ago,
Hmm.
I was definitely a different guy. I was still very green, didn't understand a lot of different things. I was in a tag team. I didn't have any weight on me like that. I didn't really even know what's going on. And I was thankful enough that somebody decided they wanted to give me an interview without me even really having anything going for me back then. So I definitely appreciate that, brother.
It's always good to get wrestlers on the indie show side of things on the show. Just to hear their stories and how they came about and how much wrestling has meant to them as individuals and clearly it meant a lot to you. You've definitely come a long way since 3 years ago. You have evolved. You are now I mean, we might as well start calling you an emerging international talent. I mean, you competed in America. You compete in Canada. You got your eyes set for other countries. I mean, you got some goals that you're pursuing, and I commend you on that. It feels like people settle for being locals, but if you want to take a career else, to the next level, then you gotta expand yourself, get yourself out there more than just your regular spot, you know, and that's just what it boils down to is getting yourself heard, make sure people know who the powerhouse star is and what's he all about, and what carnage he can cause, regardless of who stands in that circle. Um,
Yeah.
now, now for you, you definitely have evolved, and absolutely. And I do watch your matches from time to time, whether it's old or current. And you know, to see a brother like yourself doing your thing, it definitely means a lot because there is a lot of talented African American wrestlers. And I feel like now some of them doesn't quite get that big platform or whatever. Um, what's your thoughts on, African American wrestlers, like yourselves, getting yourself out there on the indie scene?
I'll probably say honestly, man, from the look of it and just being realistic about it, you have to work 10 times harder than in any other wrestler from any other race. You know, you just have to. You already in this world. You kind of already look down, but at the same time, you have to work 10 times harder than any other person to be noticed, and you have to be different at the same time. There are wrestlers who either just don't have the talent, the mind frame, or for the business and understand what the business is about, but you have to be different. Everybody can't because I can't at all. Everybody can't do the same exact thing as an African American. There has to be different. Like let's just say, take for example, the New Day. Yeah, the New Day, people can say what they want, but they're different. A lot of African American wrestlers didn't have as much mic time as those guys had. You know what I'm saying? Those guys had a lot of mic time, a lot of camera time, and they help open the door, just like a lot of other wrestlers, to being able to be something different, and being accepted for it at the same time as you can't worry about what people think. People want to think what they're going to think regardless. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be you. People like it, they're going to dislike it, they're going to have something to say, they're not going to have something to say. Ron told me in a couple of years ago, he said, focus on race or anything like that. You got to be the best that you have to be. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have it, you don't have it. Can't blame anybody. You got to step out there. You got to put yourself out there, and you got to work as hard as you can. And and when they give you that platform, you got to run with it. So I definitely understand that. But me, I was always told a gimmick, or not even necessarily a gimmick, just being a wrestler is an extension of yourself. And we got to constantly bring in new things. We got a lot of talented African American wrestlers out there, especially in WWE and Ring of Honor, independently. It's a good time in wrestling, period, man, for everybody. There's a lot of talent out there. But like I said, my pops always told me that being an African American man, you got to work 10 times harder than the other man. So that's just my take on that.
To hear that for Juan Simmons, definitely a big deal, considering that he is the first ever African American heavyweight champion. Uh, actually had Vader, who is a big dude.
Oh man!
And he was definitely one of the big stars at that time. And for Juan Simmons to break that barrier or to win that championship definitely was a proud moment. Um, and since then, you know, uh, you do see African American champions on the pros. Like the New Day. I see people like Cedric Alexander, a Swan. You see R-Truth. You see plenty of those, who came fall back before becoming a wrestler. There's a lot of talented black people, but it feels like people of that race have to work 10 times harder, uh, just to show that they can hang with the boys. Uh, but I am proud to see that there's more African American talent than it is before, and it's just a matter of how far they're willing to go, and what the company wants to do with them. You know, after the new day, like who's next up, that definitely remains to be seen. Um, Now for you, Ja, you busy man, obviously. What are some upcoming shows you want people to know that they should check out coming soon?
Coming shows, looking at New Jersey on the 17th. I'm going to be at ECWA. I'll be making my debut at ECWA. I've been looking at those guys for a while. Some pretty good time up there. In July, I'm going to be doing a couple of shows with Pure Pro Wrestling. They often run in the North Carolina area and the Virginia area. July, August, which is a Friday, I believe. Yeah, Friday. So that's just, I'm talking about June, July, and August right now. If anything else come up, you know where to find me. Ja Kole Facebook, Ja Kole Instagram, King Cole for sure, Twitter, and YouTube. And, don't forget ProWrestlingTees.com, Ja Kole. And, just follow me online and keep up to date with all my upcoming, bookings and things like that.
So this is when I ask this particular question to wrestlers at times. Um, do you get a chance to watch footage of your old and current matches? And if so, like how do you critique yourself as to things that you do better on and things that you need to improve on? Like what's your take when you watch your own matches and critique yourself?
Yeah, right. Oh man, most wrestlers, man, a lot of them, the early matches weren't always that good. But man, I can honestly say I do watch my older matches from time to time, and I do look at my stuff, and there's a high amount of improvement. I get that all the time. I go around and travel, and they say, man, you've gotten better, and things like that, because there was a time when people thought that I wasn't even going to make it because, I was so mean and things like that. So there are a lot of people that are proud of me that I'm doing my thing out here, man. But yeah, man, you go out there, you got to be yourself, man. You got to be, you got to be comfortable. You got to be confident, and you got to make sure that they feel it like you feel it. Because if you don't believe it, then they're not going to believe it. And back then, you're just coming out, doing your thing. Now I'm like, okay, where's the story at? Now I'm all about coming out there, telling the story, getting the people involved, everybody that paid their tickets. Fans like to be involved. They like to leave with something, you know what I'm saying? So if you can get them to be a part of the show or let them, I see you, I notice you, or something, no matter if your match is 5 minutes, 3 minutes long, even if you had the first match on the card or the mid card, whatever you are, as long as those fans were happy and they felt something, then you've done a good job, man. So that's what I work on now. Is pretty much telling the story. It's not always about flashy moves and all that type of stuff. You want it to, you want things to sink in with people. And before, when I started, I didn't really think about all that. All of that stuff like that. Tell a story. Just let But now, as I look back on all the old stuff I was doing, it has to make sense. Now I get it, and I want to continue to get it and continue to get better and better, man. So so I can main it in WrestleMania one day.
Hey, I like to see that. I don't think as I look back at all these WrestleManias, I don't think there's ever been a wrestler, African American wrestler that's main event at WrestleMania. I mean, obviously you had celebrities like Mr. T, but he's a celebrity. But we have never had an African American wrestler main event at WrestleMania, and that's flabbergasting. Like, you got all these talented wrestlers like the Junkyard Dog, Coco Beware. You had Juan Simmons himself, Farouk, Ahmed Johnson. I like Ahmed Johnson back today. The Pearl River Plunge, Mississippi
Oh
dude.
yeah, Ahmed was the man, man.
I mean, Ahmed Johnson, he was that dude. The one
Yeah, he
thing
was, man.
the one thing that had me traumatized is when that little that
Oh
little
no.
incident
Oh
with
no, man.
his young. I was like, what? Yeah, but we gotta make that happen. We get an African American wrestler in the main event at WrestleMania. Somebody, you know, maybe we need a LeVar Ball in the wrestling scene to hook somebody up. I don't know. He will be entertaining in wrestling if he wanted to be a manager or something. But that's just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something needs to be looked at for sure. Uh,
Anything is possible, brother.
yeah,
You gotta think positive, man. And I think that anything is possible, but it has to be the right person to do it. The reason a lot of people, you know,